You won't believe what's happening at Daystar TV, the powerhouse Christian network that reaches over 2.8 billion homes around the world. Daystar, led by Joni Lamb, is refusing to refund donations from a longtime supporter. And guess who they're blaming for the entire mess? Jonathan Lamb, Joni's very own son. Is he really the villain here? Or is there something much darker at play behind the scenes at Daystar TV? This isn't just about money, folks. This is about a family torn apart by betrayal, accusations flying, and millions of dollars being handled by those in charge. Daystar's response to all of this? Denial. And now, they're pointing the finger at Jonathan Lamb, accusing him of having a corrupt spirit of greed and power. But is Jonathan truly the one to blame? Or is this all a cover-up for something much bigger? What's really going on behind closed doors at Daystar TV? Stay tuned, because we're about to uncover the shocking truth that Daystar doesn't want you to know. Trust me, this story is about to get way more complicated and revealing than you could ever imagine. Let's start with the facts. Benita Beth Brock, a loyal donor who has supported Daystar for 27 years, reached out to the network this week. And what was she asking for? A refund. And why? Because she believes her hard-earned money was misused. And she's not wrong to ask those tough questions. In her email to Daystar, Brock wrote, "Those funds were given in a godly manner in which they were not used. She had donated with the expectation that the funds would help further the gospel, expand Daystar's ministry, and serve others. However, she discovered that the funds had been used for lavish personal expenses, mansions, and personal expenditures, and not for ministry outreach. She emphasized that donor money is not your money to pay off people to keep their silence." So, how did Daystar respond? Did they admit any wrongdoing? Did they apologize? Did they offer to make things right? Absolutely not. Daystar refused her request for a refund. But here's the twist. They blamed Jonathan Lamb for the entire situation. In a shocking response, Daystar's administrator, Barbie Harris, wrote to Brock, claiming that Jonathan Lamb had taken on a corrupt spirit of greed and power, accusing him of twisting the truth to destroy his own family. She wrote, "Jonathan knows this, but he has taken on such a corrupt spirit of greed and power that he twists any truth just to destroy and slander his own mother and even his deceased father." Can you believe that? A son being blamed for the actions of his mother and the organization she leads? This is mind-blowing.
Joni Lamb's extravagant honeymoon with her new husband, Dr. Doug Weiss. In June 2023, shortly after their wedding, the couple reportedly spent nearly $100,000 on a luxurious getaway in Los Cabos, Mexico. This wasn't just any honeymoon. It included stays at five-star resorts, elite amenities, and indulgent experiences that raised eyebrows among Daystar donors and critics alike. According to investigative reports, expenses tied to this trip appeared on Daystar's ministry credit card. Records revealed two significant charges: $60,041.68 in May 2023, just weeks before their wedding. $36,780.32 in October 2022, well before the couple even married. This led to speculation that these charges were either unrelated to ministry work or improperly allocated for personal use. It's worth noting that such high-value expenses are far removed from the purpose of a non-profit organization. As these charges came to light, Daystar board member Tom Callender allegedly stepped in to gift these honeymoon expenses to Joni Lamb. Reports suggest this decision was made without formal board approval, a move that further complicates the situation. Critics argue that such actions represent a clear conflict of interest, given that Joni herself is an officer in the organization and holds significant influence over its operations. This decision to retroactively approve and gift the charges raises questions about the checks and balances within Daystar's governance. If board members are willing to excuse such expenses without scrutiny, what does this say about the organization's commitment to financial accountability? Interestingly, these charges did not go unnoticed within Daystar. Joni's own son, Jonathan Lamb, who was serving as vice president at the time, voiced strong objections. During a board meeting, Jonathan questioned the legitimacy of using ministry funds for personal expenses, including the honeymoon. Jonathan later consulted with Daystar's CFO, who confirmed that the ministry's credit card points were insufficient to cover the expenses. This revelation contradicted Joni's defense that the trip was funded through credit card rewards. His objections not only underscored concerns about financial mismanagement, but also strained his relationship with his mother, culminating in his eventual removal from Daystar.
But this story doesn't end with a simple family spat. No, it goes much deeper. Jonathan Lamb and his wife Susie came forward with an explosive accusation last November, one that could shake Daystar to its very core. They accused Joni Lamb, Daystar's president, of covering up the SA of their 5-year-old daughter. This isn't just petty family drama, folks. This is a major scandal that has rocked Daystar. Jonathan Lamb claims that he was fired from Daystar after refusing to sign a non-disclosure agreement related to the abuse cover-up. Can you imagine? A son being fired from the network he worked at because he refused to cover up such a serious issue involving his own daughter. This betrayal within the family is beyond heartbreaking, and the truth of what happened behind closed doors could have devastating consequences. Now, let's take a look at how Daystar defended its actions. In her email to Brock, Barbie Harris claimed that donations go toward ministry expansion and outreach. But then, she also stated that the Lamb family's personal expenses, like their honeymoon, are not covered by ministry funds. But can we really believe that? Christine Jones, an attorney familiar with nonprofit law, weighed in on this. She explained that, in most cases, once a donation is made, it's no longer the property of the donor. Technically, Daystar doesn't have to refund anything, but just because it's legal, does that make it morally right? Jones went on to explain that while it may be legal to use donations for personal luxuries, the bigger question remains: should a religious nonprofit use donations to fund mansions, private jets, and extravagant vacations while its core mission, spreading the gospel, is neglected? Is this really the kind of organization we want to support when we donate to Daystar? When we, as donors, give our hard-earned money to a religious organization, we expect it to be used for its intended purpose. But when funds are used to fuel a lavish lifestyle, is that not a betrayal of the trust that we, the donors, have placed in the organization? The Bible teaches us in Matthew 7:15-20, "By their fruit you will recognize them." And right now, the fruit coming from Daystar doesn't look too good. We're talking about SA cover-ups, financial mismanagement, and luxury spending while the mission of spreading the gospel is compromised. This situation forces us to ask an important question. When the institutions we trust begin to betray the values we hold dear, what do we do? Where do we draw the line between supporting an organization that claims to represent our faith and enabling one that is focused more on personal wealth and power than fulfilling its mission? We cannot place our trust in human institutions, no matter how big or influential they may be. Our faith needs to rest in God alone. Hebrews 13:8 reminds us that Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. No human leader, no matter how influential, can replace the unshakable truth of Christ. This situation at Daystar, though troubling, is a reminder that our faith should never rest in human leaders or organizations. Our trust must always be placed in Jesus Christ, the only unshakable foundation. So, what can we take from all of this? When the people we trust with our donations fail us, it's crucial to remember that our hope is not in them. Our hope is in Jesus Christ, who is the same today, tomorrow, and forever. While human institutions may fall and leaders may disappoint, Jesus remains the one constant in our lives. And when everything feels overwhelming, we can always turn to Him for strength and guidance.